Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Ray with Wisdom on Wednesdays. We're excited to have you back with us another week. Thank you for hanging out with us over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate your input. We appreciate your feedback. Hey, if this podcast has been an encouragement to you, would you like and subscribe and share with us and let people know that it's been something enriching for you so we can continue to grow our channel? Can you do that for us? I appreciate it. Well, this week, family, in our Wisdom on Wednesday iteration, what we want to do is make sure we talk about being in transition. You see, being in transition is important for all of us because it's important to be a wise person and understanding where you are. You see, when you know where you are, you can handle life in a better, knowledgeable space because you can understand what's happening with us emotionally, physically, spiritually while we're in transition. You see, being in transition is very difficult, especially for those people who are visionaries. You see, visionaries are able to be in a present situation and can see the future that God has promised them. On one end, that's a wonderful feeling, but on another end, it's almost like prison. That you're trapped in your present, but you can dream only about your future. That you're dreaming about the current situation, you're dreaming about your future situation while you're bound by your current situation and you're in a space of waiting on your change to come, waiting on your situation to develop, waiting on that education you spent all that money to continue to show up and show out in your life. It's hard to be in a current situation and looking forward to your next. Can anybody relate? That when you're looking forward to your next, it's dangerous because it can make you not appreciate your now. That we can all be in our now and knowing we're in a transition situation, that while we're in transition, we'll become complacent and ungrateful for the things that we have currently. So just because we're in a transition season and God has promised us more, that doesn't give us the allowance to be ungrateful, complacent about our current situation. If you're good stewards over little things, that you'll be blessed to be rulers over many. That if you're grateful for where you are, you'll have a greater view in your transition season. You see, when you're in your transition season, it's easy to remain frustrated. We talked about that last week. But when you're frustrated, it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time, but sometimes you're frustrated because you're moving from one area to another, and the another is unfamiliar. The familiar is a place that we've already been. We've conquered this. We've played this game. We've mastered the game. But when we're walking by faith and trusting what we don't see, it's frustrating to believe something that you can't see. It's frustrating to dream about a business that then doesn't matriculate in your time frame. It's difficult to pray and to dream about a better situation. And it seems like the people that you need to make the situation better are becoming even more difficult to deal with. Transition. Spiritually, wanting to believe God in every aspect of your life, but it seems like the things that you're believing God are becoming harder and harder. It seems like the children that you're investing in aren't listening anymore. Transition. Many of our children are moving from children to adolescence, from adolescence to young adulthood to adulthood. It's difficult to watch the people that were so dependent on us at one time now become independent. Transition season. You see, while we're in transition, we can go places that we're supposed to go, but that means of transition may take long. If you take a ride on a train and you choose to go from one state to another, that train ride is going to take a little bit longer than a bus ride. You see, you purchase both tickets to move from one space to another, which is called transition. But moving a bus doesn't take as long as moving a train. You see, you can pack passengers and luggage on a bus, and you can go from one state to another, take a couple of stops, a couple of nasty rest stops, some dirty truck stops, but you'll get to your destination in maybe a day or two. But if you take the exact same trip and you take a train, you see, that train may take 3 or 4 days to take the same trip that a bus took. I want to help you with something. Just because the train takes longer, it doesn't make the train less important. You see, a train has more valuable cargo. You see, a train has to have way more steam to pull everything that's behind them. You see, some of us are being pulled slower because our dreams are bigger. Some of our transition seasons are harder, are longer, are more frustrating because of the amount, the weight of the dream that's on the inside of us. That the bus only has to pull one car, but a train at times has to pull several cars, passengers, oil, petroleum. You see where we're going? The thing inside of you may be too large to get to your destination fast. You see, on a long destination, we can take in the journey. We can take in the sights. There are some things that we have to see along the journey to make the transition all worth the while. If we get to our destiny too fast, we won't appreciate the trip. And if we don't appreciate the trip, we'll have a hard time holding on to what was promised to us. You see, so waiting and taking a long time isn't always bad. What we have to understand is to be grateful for every day and trust the process. Trust the journey. Appreciate the trip. Go at the pace that God has set for you. And when you get to where God has ordained for you to be, it's going to be all worth it, friends. We have to have discipline to trust the process. We have to have discipline not to compare our transition season to other people. You see, some people got to their dreams a lot faster than you. It looks like some people are living their best life better than you. It seems like some people are taking advantage of their education. They have a family. They have 3.5 children, a house, a home, a white picket fence. It seems like they're doing better than you. But we only have a small sliver of their lives. We don't know how long or what they had to go through to get to where they are. We don't know who had to die for them to own that house. We don't know what the heartbreak is that they have to live with every day. All we can be accountable for is the journey we've been allotted and the time we've been allotted, and be good stewards over what we've been promised. So today I want to enrich your thoughts and help you to see that transition can be frustrating. Transition season can be lonely. Transition season can be a season that makes you feel like you've been doing things wrong all along. But ultimately, when you're in transition, you're moving from one place to another. And when you move from one place to another, that's called progression. And when you're progressing is lonely at times. Progression seems difficult at times, but don't confuse movement with progression. There's a lot of people making moves. There's a lot of people rocking in place. There's a lot of people going backwards and forward. But when you're progressing takes grit. Progression takes discipline. Progression takes staying power. Progression takes appreciating the journey, because you know that without faith, it's impossible to please God. So you must believe that you're going to get there, that every day you wake up, trust that you're going to accomplish all the goals that's been put in your heart. This is my word of wisdom on today. In this transition season, don't be afraid to trust God, even when you can't trace his hand. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And I pray you have a blessed day in the Lord.